All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how I did 100K in 7 days with TikTok Shop. And as you can see here, it only shows like $60,000, but that's because TikTok Shop is giving customers 40% off on their first purchase. So majority of my customers, it was their first time purchasing with TikTok Shop. So they got 40% off, but TikTok still pays you the full amount. So let's say you're selling your product for $50 and they get 40% off. That's, $30 that the customer pays, but TikTok will still pay you the $50. So it's a really good incentive for both the buyers and for us because they're trying to, compete with Amazon and other marketplaces. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit how I did it and some pros and some cons, because I know some gurus are already dropping courses on this, and I guarantee you they haven't done any numbers like this. So I'm just going to give you guys some free knowledge. So as you can see here, August 6th was the very first day that we connected TikTok Shop to our organic account. And this is, by the way, my $4 million brand. So we've already had a pretty decent TikTok following. And decided to plug in TikTok Shops. And day one, we got, $400 in sales. Some of our videos started to get more views than normal. And we're like, this is interesting. All right, let's post some more and tag the products. Literally next day, first video, now it has multi-million views, but it absolutely took off. So this is more like $11,000, $12,000 in sales, actually, if you count the 40% off that TikTok gives. And then the following video as well absolutely took off. And the crazy thing is this number would have been significantly higher, but for new accounts, TikTok limits you to 200 orders per day. So on these days, I was literally maxing out my orders by like 6 a.m. every single day. So this likely would have been $400,000 in sales if I wasn't limited. I'm kind of glad it was limited for reasons I will get to later on in this video. So definitely stick around. Don't just hop on TikTok Shop till you watch this whole video. The videos were doing really well. And then obviously like any organic video, they started to slow down. So around here, I was starting to have some problems and I was like, okay, this isn't all roses and dandelions. There's definitely some issues and there was very little information. So I was kind of trying to figure it out on the fly and hopefully I can pass some of this knowledge on to you guys. So then this is inside my Shopify dashboard. So you can see here, SKU IQ for TikTok Shop. SKU IQ is essentially the platform that sends TikTok Shop orders to your Shopify store so you can fulfill in your Shopify store. There's a lot of issues with that, which I will get into. But yeah, this is just to show you. So quick little refresh. Okay, so yeah, this says 65,000 as well. And that is because after the discount code is applied on TikTok, it just sends that number to Shopify. So it doesn't account for the 40% extra, but that 40% extra does go to your bank account. It just doesn't send that information over to Shopify. So like I said, this is around 100K, a little bit over 100K. It just doesn't show that within Shopify. All right, so here are some pros with TikTok Shop, and there certainly are a lot of pros. As I said before, TikTok is really pushing it hard. If you've done any organic lately, you know that TikTok is not necessarily pushing those videos as hard anymore. It's harder to go viral, and that's why people are opening up 5, 10, 15 accounts. I mean, look at the sex chocolate guy. He has like 100 accounts to push. So it's a lot harder just to go viral on one TikTok account. And TikTok, like I said, they're trying to compete with Amazon and create a marketplace. So they're really incentivizing brands, creators, and affiliates, which is another pro I'll talk about in a minute, to really push this and get people used to buying on TikTok. It's really good right now for organic reach. And as I mentioned before about the incentivized buyers discount, TikTok is giving new buyers to TikTok Shop 40% off. And it's amazing because it's a win-win for you and the customer because they get 40% off, but you get to keep the full retail price. So like I said before, if you sell something for $50, the customer will pay $30, but you get to keep the full 50. So, I mean, it's a pretty amazing incentive for both people. Say what you want about TikTok, but they are certainly smart. And like I said, it's like organic on steroids. So they're pushing it like crazy. And just about, I mean, the most basic videos, I don't know if you've watched any TikTok shop videos, but just the most basic review videos are going viral just because it has the TikTok shop link in it. And another cool thing is when customers pay with TikTok shop, you don't need to process the payments, but TikTok will accept PayPal, credit card, Klarna, tons of different payment methods that you don't have to set up. It's all within TikTok shop. If you don't have PayPal in your store, TikTok shop accepts PayPal. So the conversion rate will be much higher. So that's another really good thing. And like I mentioned a little bit before, they have an affiliate program, which is incredible. There's a lot of affiliates making pretty good money just promoting products. And you can create targeted affiliate plans, send to affiliates, or affiliates, a part of the program, can just apply to you. You send them the product and they can create ads for you. You can give them any commission, 10, 20, 30%, anything like that. And they will just make videos and promote your products for you. So it's a really, really good incentive for affiliates. And people are addicted to TikTok and they love making content. So if they can make money doing that, it's a good thing. It's a win-win for both of you. But now I'm going to get on to the cons, which are the things and the lessons I had to learn the hard way. So I'm not sure why that popped up. That's supposed to be on the next slide, but whatever, we'll roll with it. It's against their terms of service. So I'm going to hop into the TikTok shop terms of service real quick and show you guys. All right. So as you can see here, they literally have it in their terms of service: international dropshipping. Local sellers based in the US are prohibited from using third-party suppliers to fulfill or ship orders within the US, aka dropshipping. Now, there are some ways you might be able to circumvent this, but in the long term, it's not going to be sustainable at all. There might be ways that you can get around it in the future, but they're definitely cracking down hard. And I had some experiences which I'll share with you as well. And this is what I mean. So these are the only logistic partners that you can actually upload tracking to. So let's say you have UnExpress and you upload a UnExpress tracking link to your Shopify, and then you use SKU or some other app that transfers tracking back to TikTok shop. You can only use these. These are the only ones that it allows you to use. So I honestly don't even know any of these, but in general, most people are using these ones. And most people who are drop shipping are probably using 4PX or UnExpress, or God forbid you're using, Ali drop shipping. So your tracking number will not be uploaded correctly. I'll show you inside my dashboard what happens is TikTok will auto cancel your order because it doesn't recognize the tracking number. And because it doesn't recognize the tracking number, it shows that it's not shipped, and it will auto cancel your order even if you've already shipped the product. And I'll show you that is what happened to me. All right, as you can see here, look, canceled 576 orders. Sometimes, people just cancel as soon as they order. They're like, okay, I don't want it. But a majority of these were auto-canceled by TikTok Shop because I knew that TikTok Shop only accepted USPS. So I uploaded last mile tracking, which is essentially, if you don't know, if you use UnExpress, when it gets to the US, it switches to USPS. So you can have your supplier just upload that USPS tracking number. But what happens is it doesn't update until it starts to move in the US. And sometimes that can take, that's a majority of the shipping time is by the time it actually moves in the US. So it can take 7-8 business days potentially for the tracking to actually show movement in the US. And by the time that happens, TikTok can auto cancel your order. And like I said, even though your product has already been shipped and it shows movement, in China, or even if it gets to the US, it'll take a day or two for USPS to actually update that tracking. But if it's after the allocated time that TikTok Shop gives you, they'll auto cancel your order and refund the customer, but you've already shipped the product. So you're already down, however much money your product cost was. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And another side note that I had with auto canceling is my app, because there's multiple shipping settings on my store, and to connect it with TikTok Shop, it was kind of confusing. You have to have it exactly, but if a customer chooses, let's say express shipping, and because TikTok Shop was giving free express shipping to customers, I'd ship it with USPS. But because TikTok marked it as a express shipment, being like FedEx when I uploaded the tracking number back to TikTok Shop with a USPS number, and keep in mind, a lot of these orders were actually filled from the US. I just ran out of stock for some of my products, so I had to ship some from China. TikTok uploaded those tracking numbers as FedEx. And because there were USPS tracking numbers, but labeled as FedEx, it showed that there was no movement. And I couldn't update the tracking once it was inside TikTok Shop. Because honestly, I didn't think it would be a big deal. I was like, well, ship from the US, or even if it's from China, it'll be there in a few days. No big deal. But then I got loads of auto cancel orders because the shipping was put incorrectly and it was showing no tracking for the FedEx. So I lost tens of thousands of dollars doing that. Just that little simple mistake of wrong shipping. And I'm talking to my TikTok Shop rep, still trying to figure it out. This was 2 months ago, still haven't gotten any resolutions. So that's something to keep in mind. Even if you ship from the US, make sure your shipping settings are set up correctly. And if it shows shipped FedEx, make sure it's shipped FedEx. Otherwise, you'll get screwed like I was. So I lost tens of thousands of dollars in auto cancel orders. All right. And then it's a customer service headache as well. You get dozens and dozens of DMs every day through TikTok Shop, and you have to respond within 24 hours. And it's a lot of just stupid questions. And I finally got my customer service agent in there, but even that was kind of a pain in the ass because you have to assign them certain tickets. So I was still getting all these tickets I had to personally answer because I hadn't assigned them to my customer service rep at the time. So it's really a pain in that regard. And as I said before, I guess I jumped the gun on this, but TikTok can auto cancel your orders for many, many reasons, whether it's the tracking number's input wrong or it's not the approved tracking, USPS, UPS, FedEx, etc. So they can just auto cancel your orders. So, and I know a lot of people drop shipping with, just standard TikTok organic, probably just use UniExpress or some other shipping method like that, or even like a slower shipping method. And that will not fly with TikTok. You might get a ton of orders, but then you'll get a lot of them auto canceled, and it will be an absolute headache. And then your feedback score will go down. You'll get limited or banned from TikTok shops. And another con is TikTok can just auto refund customers. So if a customer is like, I don't like this for any given reason, TikTok will just automatically refund them. A slight pro to this is TikTok will give you a rebate back. I mean, maybe it's your product cost, but they will just auto refund customers if a customer isn't happy. And another thing I didn't put on here is TikTok, like Amazon, customers can put reviews on the product. And I know a lot of dropshipping products aren't necessarily the highest quality, and especially with slow shipping times, you're going to get a bunch of low feedback. And not only will TikTok, punish you and limit your orders and kick you off affiliate marketplace, but also when customers click on your shop and they see a 2 out of 5 star, you're going to get screwed. That's what happened to me. One customer, just for no reason, they ordered the wrong thing, the wrong variation or something, and they just left a 1-star review, no context, nothing. So I had one review. This was like day 5 or 6. Luckily, my post was going so viral, it didn't matter. But I had one 1-star review with like 1,000+ orders. And obviously that affects a conversion rate massively. Think of yourself shopping on Amazon. You look at price and reviews most of the time. So these are definitely some of the cons. There's definitely a lot of pros. But honestly, if you're drop shipping, make sure more than any other type of drop shipping, whether you're doing TikTok organic, Facebook ads, you need to have your logistics and your back end completely dialed in, because if you go viral and you max out on those 200 orders per day, you're going to get a ton of canceled orders. You're going to get a ton of auto refunds if you don't have everything completely set up already. So you need to really make sure you have your back end completely set up, completely taken care of. There's no holes in it. You need to have your customer service dialed in on TikTok Shop. You definitely can still make it work. I'm still going to try to make it work, but now I know I need to really make sure I have one, stock in the US. Like I said before, you can try to ship from China, but you're playing with fire. It's against the terms of service, for one. And for two, you're going to end up with a lot of auto canceled orders and refunds. But I do think that is definitely a good opportunity still. You just need to really have, like I said, your back end dialed in. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you guys who watched my first video. I'll try to drop one once a week. Maybe next week I will do my Facebook ad scaling strategy, how I got to $4 million on this store, and get a little bit more in depth, and maybe some creative breakdown and how to create winning creatives. metrics to look at and all that stuff. So appreciate you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, all that crap that people say. So peace.